Eric Adams sometimes confuses me, referring to the mayor of New York City. I'm like, don't get me wrong here. I understand that he absolutely does not have absolute power. He can't decide fully what is going to go on and what's not going to go on, let's say. But, bro, why are we reopening a new migrant shelter in New York? What's going on here? I need multiple explanations here. But let's go ahead and find out, guys. Bronx residents are currently protesting New York City reopening a migrant shelter. For what, bro? But either way, let's jump into it. Let's say suggestion via Discord.
New York City, where a massive 2,200-bed all-male migrant shelter just reopened yesterday, and residents are furious.
I have young women who come to me to study. I have never been afraid of South Bronx. I am now terrified. I'm terrified for me, for my students. I will have to move. You have made a terrible mistake.
As literally someone that has lived this experience personally, you should be ashamed. It is not okay for you to take our tax money.
Even Democrat Congressman Richie Torres wants New York City to, quote, stop treating the Bronx as a dumping ground for an endless stream of shelters.
Bro, I have absolutely noticed that they are strategically placing a good amount of these migrant shelters in areas where people are legitimately trying to make it. They're paying their taxes, and they definitely are in need of things for their community. It does seem like they just keep putting all of these people specifically in these places. It's troubling. And it's not, New York is not the only place that's doing this. Chicago also.
The move comes as the Big Apple closes the Roosevelt Hotel migrant shelter in Manhattan that became a symbol of the city's migrant crisis.
We are announcing the Roosevelt Hotel will be closing in the coming months. Saving taxpayers in New York is millions of dollars.
Certainly hitting close to home for the folks in the Bronx. What of the vibe shift? What's happening now?
Well, look, they're closing Roosevelt, so basically they're taking a lot of them that were here in Midtown and they're moving them out to the Bronx. And it's, as the congressman said, they've become a dumping ground out in the Bronx. Every one of those people should be deported. They don't need to open any more migrant shelters. Go in there, ICE, get ERO in there, and deport those people. Bring them back to where they... That's what the Trump administration's all about. When you're a sanctuary city and you're a sanctuary state, guess what? They're not going to cooperate with ICE. But they really should be doing is deporting these people, not sheltering these people. Shelter them back in Guatemala, Mexico, or wherever they came from. That's where their shelter should be.
I mean, Lisa.
Okay, guys, yeah, I mean, semi-valid here, but keep this in mind. Not every single one of these individuals are here under the sole concept of, like, asylum fraud. If they are, in fact, here for asylum, then why are we deporting someone here that's actually qualifying for asylum? That doesn't make any sense. But being that we do know that 80 to 90% are basically committing some type of asylum fraud, then the 80 to 90% should obviously be deported. But the ones who are here for actual asylum should not be.
Is it just migrant musical chairs, or is there something that will actually happen here in New York City? Because they're not on the side of their own voters here.
Let's be clear, though, that New York City Mayor Eric Adams, he didn't have some sort of come to Jesus moment. He shut down the Roosevelt Hotel because FEMA revoked $80 million from New York City because they accused New York City of illegally using that money for sort of this high-end shelter with the hotel. So that's why he did that. It wasn't because, he's trying to do the right thing here. I think one of these mayoral candidates, as the race heats up, should emphasize this, should make this a key issue. This isn't a Republican issue. It's not a Democrat issue. It's an American issue. We saw this play out politically with the presidential election being the second top issue for American voters. Also, these sanctuary cities are going to have to figure out what are they going to do, right? New York City's already spent billions of dollars on the migrant crisis. And now that the federal spigot is turned off, do they want to continue to absorb those costs without getting federal dollars? So, the rubber is going to meet the road and they're going to have to figure out what they want to do.
What do you say, Johnny?
Well, in reading about this, so this Bronx facility they're going to use is owned by a company called Sobro Local Development Corporation. They're a nonprofit. They're tax exempt in their development.
But of course.
And their statement is enhance the quality of life in the South Bronx by strengthening businesses and creating and implementing innovative economic, housing, educational, and career development programs for youth and adults. So
So what does this have to do with Bronx residents? The people that are going to be filling these places are not residents at all.
The scheme is so bad that they acquired this building probably for free.
Right.
They're tax exempt. And the whole reason the community let that happen was so they would bring business there.
Right.
They're supposed to turn it into some sort of manufacturing to bring jobs. And instead they're bringing essentially
Migrants.
what will become freeloaders in some way or another. Freeloading in citizenship and money and everything else. It really, what it does, it just shows, I mean, this place is, it's not governed or represented by moderates, liberals. That lady was an art teacher that was saying she wasn't feeling safe. You think she voted for Trump? No. This
Because they're art teachers, bro? What is this, guys, you sent me?
does nothing but strengthen Trump's case for immigration, but in the meantime, it hurts people in the city.
Okay, basically what he just said is not a single person who is an artist by any means has the ability to not, enjoy the concept of open borders. It's just a weird statement. I have a master's in fine art. I have been a photographer for over 2 decades. I'm definitely someone in the art field, let's say, by all definitions. But I absolutely am not a Democrat or a liberal by any means. But let's, I guess, continue.
To me, this is just bare minimum governance stuff, right?
Yeah.
We wanted economic development. You brought us 2,200 people who might hurt us and are definitely taking our tax dollars. That doesn't seem like a great deal for the people of New York, whether they're liberal or conservative. And the thing that I think is interesting about liberals on this is they're not on the side of even their art teacher constituents, right? That's an unsafe place.
And it shows you another example of Eric Adams speaking out both sides of his mouth. I think it's another loss for him, honestly.
Look, this is an all-male facility. It's not as if they're trying to house families or taking care of the little kids or something. This is an all-male facility. So if you're a family, you're not getting part of this shelter. It's an all-male facility, some 2,000 beds. Good luck. Congratulations, Bronx.
Yeah, every person walking by this facility is going to wonder exactly what is in store for them. And I think that the Democrats on this, even in major cities, have missed the vibe shift.
I'm guessing all men are terrible people. Okay, guys. We're going to go ahead and move past this video. I don't know why you guys sent me this one here. Now, when it comes down to a couple of things that were said here, they're definitely intriguing, mainly not from the commentators. I've never encountered any of these people before. You guys never sent me anything from it, at least, but that's not the point here. The issue here is that a lot of people in New York City never actually cared about the migrant crisis because it didn't affect them. It affected them in a 0% manner. It didn't affect them until, Greg Abbott made, basically brought the border to New York. And until then, that's when people's, ideas and thoughts kind of regarding it started to shift because now it's affecting them. I think that's the overall kind of reality of the situation here. And now when it comes to Eric Adams, Eric Adams is probably one of the better of the mayors, let's say, out of the bunch of sanctuary city mayors. At least he understood, at the very least, all of what was happening, right? Like, hey, listen, federal government, you're sticking us with the bill. We don't want to be stuck with the bill, right? We don't want to do this. And then obviously the federal government, the DOJ, went directly after him for basically saying these things, right? The DOJ is basically used for whatever means whoever the government wants it for, and it seems to normally be somewhat like hit jobs and things like that, at least lately. But guys, in the meantime, it does not surprise me that a lot of people from the Bronx are starting to speak up, kind of regarding the topic, because they're the ones that are kind of in fact being the dumping ground for a gigantic swath of individuals, guys, right? That most likely do not speak your language, don't have the same culture, but the fact that they're men, I mean, I get it. That could be something scary, right? I guess potentially. That's if you are someone who believes that every single man on earth is a terrible human. But either way, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. This was an interesting one. Let's just say that. I'll catch you guys later.